Hello, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And welcome to Blissed. I am Christy Fry.
And I am Angie Peters.
And we're going to jump into Esther today. Our verse that kind of, I don't know what to call it, our verse that goes with our ministry is from Esther. I don't know what to call it. Like
Our supporting verse.
Our supporting verse.
Just kidding, I just made that up.
I don't know what to call those verses. But we pulled it from Esther, and I thought that today we just kind of go through the story of Esther and hear a little bit about her life. I love how Angie tells about it and talks about it. So I'm going to let her jump in and tell about it.
Oh my. What is the verse? I didn't even take the time to look it up.
I don't know. I can look though. Let me look real quick and I will tell you. We should know it.
Yeah. I mean, I know what it says. I just don't know the reference.
Yeah.
Are you looking?
Yeah, I'm looking up.
We'll just do this right. Pause.
Just a second. Not what I wanted. No. My phone now no longer likes to just go to the Unedited Life page. It wants me to go to the church.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Mine did that the other day too, and I was like, stop it.
But if you didn't know, you can join Unedited Life online, and we have an online church platform.
We do indeed.
And that's where my phone wants to take me.
There
it is. 4:14. Esther 4:14.
Yes, perhaps this is the moment for which you were created.
Yes.
Esther 4:14. A well-quoted verse, actually.
Yes, it is.
It's used on all of, the Mother's Day things and that in Proverbs 31.
Yes. Those are the Mother's Day verses.
It's definitely the lady verses. Perhaps this is the moment for which you were created. I love that though. I mean, it's like super inspiring, and it just it causes me to think just a little bit deeper. Yeah. And so anyway, so we want to jump into the whole story of Esther this morning.
Yeah. Yes.
It's full. It's a full story. And I think that we're going to have to kind of recap to get to the end.
Yes.
Because it's a big story.
It is a big story.
We'll never get through it if we start from the beginning, because at the beginning, the king is having a banquet, a royal banquet that is going on for days, and calls for Queen Vashti to come. And this is days in. So you can imagine that the royal court is drunk. They're drinking their fill. Like he has pulled out all the stops. He has brought the best of everything. And so anyway, long story short, Queen Vashti refuses to come. Well, she is expelled from her.
That was not okay.
Her place as queen. And so she is no more. We don't even need to get into what this all represents. There's meat behind this, but we're not going to go there today. So then the king finds himself in need of a queen and gathers up all of the young maidens in his territory. And during this time, the Israelites are in captivity in Susa. And so Esther's one of them. Yeah. Esther's one of them that gets pulled from everything that she knows and is brought into the king's court. And I believe it was like 13 months of beauty treatments and all of this that these women were going through, just to get to the point where they're actually meeting with the king so that he can select which one of them he wants as his queen. And for us, like looking at it from the outside in, it looks like, 13 months worth of spa days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's understand that Esther's young and she's been taken. Like,
yeah. It's not a choice. Like, it's not going to the royal palace and the ball and dressing up and I'm going to show up as possibly queen. It was
and she was taken taken from her uncle Mordecai's house.
Yeah.
So that's who she is being raised by is her uncle Mordecai, and Mordecai has access to the king's palace, and is able to have conversation with Esther periodically, and Esther is scared. I mean, it's clear in the conversation that she's scared and doesn't want to be there. And something that really has stuck with me is something that Mordecai said to her, which sticks out more to me than perhaps this is the moment for which you were created. He says, if you persist in silence, Esther, God will raise up another.
Yeah.
If you persist in silence, God will find someone else to do the job. And his whole point was like, perhaps you are the one that is going to set our people free. Like, what?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yes.
Of all of these ladies, you could be the one that does this.
Yes. And what captivity is God calling you to set free? What bonds is he calling you to break? And I think that we all have to be asking ourselves that. But I love it that he asks her in that way. Like, if you persist in silence, if you continue to sit on this, to hit pause on this, then God will find another.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah.
I think what I love about the story of Esther is when you really look at it and think about like the whole story of it comes from this girl that's living with her uncle up to a queen. The whole story of it is so relatable to us now. Yeah. Like, if you take your story and wherever you're going through, you can find yourself in Esther so often, so easily. And to think that what are you sitting on right now, that if you sat silent and sat there and just let those dreams kind of fade off, oh, I can't do it, God's going to find somebody else to fulfill that.
Yep. Right. Yeah. So and it's not even like in a threatening kind of way. It's just that God has things he wants done.
Yeah.
That's it. And he will have his way because we know that his word will not return to him empty or void.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the story goes on. She rises. She rises to the occasion. She's inspired by the words of her uncle Mordecai. And she decides, like, I'm in. Like, I'm going to do this. God, I am your person. I'm your vessel. She's selected as queen. And she's so brave and she's so resilient through this whole thing, because even as the queen, she didn't have access to the king like we have access to our husbands today. No. Like, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
She had to be summoned to come before the king. And there was one day that God really led her to go and ask that the king meet her for a meal that she wanted to prepare, because she wanted to inform him of some things that were going on. And she came before the king, and she was risking her life by doing so. Yeah. Like, she could have been put to death because nobody came before the king without being called.
Yeah.
And he extends his scepter to her as a sign of, come, like, you're welcome here, kind of thing. And so, she was able to, anyway, very, very long story. Haman was the king's right-hand man. And he was plotting to annihilate the Jewish people that lived in Susa, and tricked the king into going along with it. And so that's what Esther's coming against here is this plot to destroy her people. And that's why her uncle's saying, if you persist in silence, God will raise up another. God will bring a redemption one way or the other. Yeah. And so she arranges one meeting, and then she does it again. She comes before him again, risks her life. And she has the favor of the king. Like, there's something about her that he can't say no.
He can't say no.
He can't deny. Yeah. Yeah.
And accepts her.
So, really long story, shortened big time. She actually exposes Haman for who he is. And she says, you don't understand, like, I am of the people that he is trying to destroy. Well, the king is like so taken with her that he is angry with Haman, and Haman was attempting to destroy her uncle Mordecai, and had convinced the king that he had done all these things wrong and everything. And the king turns the order around and says, basically, you will hang on the same noose that you have prepared for Mordecai. And not just him, but him and his sons. And so, this was the beginning of a revolution that God used Esther for. And she even had the king sign off on the Jewish people defending themselves in a war that Haman had already started. And so they were hidden. The Jewish people were armed and hidden throughout the king's providence, ready to ambush and attack the enemy. And they conquered. I mean, they conquered in 2 days thousands of people. And I want to read this part. It's so good. I should have marked where I was going to start here, because this is just so fun. Okay, so it's actually after it was all said and done, they celebrated, they feasted, and it actually turned into one of their annual feasts called the Feast of Purim. And this is what it says. Meanwhile, in the rest of the king's provinces, the Jews had organized and defended themselves, freeing themselves from oppression. So cool. On the 13th day of the month of Adar, they killed 75,000 of those who hated them, but did not take any plunder. The next day, the 14th, they took it easy and celebrated with much food and laughter. But in Susa, since the Jews had banded together on both the 13th and 14th days, they made the 15th their holiday for laughing and feasting. This accounts for why Jews living out in the country and the rural villages remember the 14th day of Adar for celebration, their day for parties and the exchange of gifts. Mordecai wrote all this down and sent copies to all the Jews in all King Xerxes' provinces, regardless of distance, calling for an annual celebration on the 14th and 15th days of Adar as the occasion when Jews got relief from their enemies, the month in which their sorrow turned to joy, mourning somersaulted into a holiday for parties and fun and laughter, the sending and receiving of presents and the giving gifts to the poor. And they did it. What started then became a tradition, continuing the practice of what Mordecai had written to them. They celebrated this annually. And what's not in the Message Bible is what's just known throughout history, is that on the Feast of Purim, what they were actually doing is they were drinking. They were drinking and they were feasting. And they drank until they could no longer remember the name of their enemy, until they could no longer utter the name Haman.
It's crazy. It's
crazy. So not only did they have like this great victory, but Mordecai became King Xerxes' right-hand man. Like, he was second in charge. So the people of Israel the Jewish people in Susa went from being captive to one of their people become second in command throughout the province. And they had, what did I say, over 750,000 people is what they slaughtered and set up for themselves a new holiday of forgetting the name of their enemy.
Yeah.
And I think what's
forgetting
most important,
and celebrating.
Forgetting and celebrating. Yes.
And celebrating.
And I love that. I love how the Message translation words it, that they got relief from their enemies, the month in which their sorrow turned to joy, mourning somersaulted into a holiday for parties and fun and laughter. That's just perfect.
Yeah.
And what's really cool here And because it was also for the sending and receiving of presents and of giving gifts to the poor. And what I really love about this is that they did not take any plunder.
No.
It's not like they went and took anything from the enemy's camp.
Yeah.
Yet they gave.
They didn't take. They defended themselves. They
Yes.
defended back to like what they needed. They didn't take. But then when it all was said and done, they went and gave again out of joy and celebration.
Yeah.
Not out of threat of what's the king going to do if we don't.
Right.
It was all.
It was an obligation.
No, it was from
Bliss.
joy. From bliss. From bliss. Imagine that.
It was a state of bliss that they were in. And I think that what we need to take away from this is that, remember, Mordecai said, if you persist in silence, God will raise up another.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really great here is that she recognized, like, I was created for such a time as this. This is my moment. This is what I was created for. She follows through, and look what transpires.
Yeah.
Look what transpires. Her people, an entire tribe, an entire people group, an entire nation forgets the name of their enemy.
Yeah.
Do not think that the thing that he is calling you to do is minimal.
It's too small.
He will take your little and he will make it way bigger than you can even imagine.
Yeah.
You can't dream up
No.
all that God has planned for your life.
Yeah.
Your one little obedient step, your one small yes could snowball into something magnificent and glorious of not even plundering, but defeating an entire army.
Yeah.
An entire army.
I love the story also that she took the yes. She's heard what God was saying and said, okay, yes, I'm going to do this. And she stepped out against what she probably had maids around her saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Warning
her, no, don't do that. Danger. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. Did you see what happened to the last queen when she didn't come? like, let's not do this again. But yet she heard that and she's like, I would believe that she would say, I hear your words, but what God's telling me is more important than what you're telling me now. And I'm going to go. I'm going to go anyways and be there and be with what my people need me to be.
We've got Chance in the house today.
Chance is here.
You can't see him, but he is literally just 2 feet from us.
No, go see Papa John.
Hi, Chance. He's all right. We'll just roll.
He wants to join us today.
Yes. This is as unedited as it gets.
Yes. Nobody. I don't want you playing on the chords though. Don't want him hurting himself back there though.
Hi. You want to say hi?
No.
So yes, I love what you're getting at there is that she against all fear, all what those around her were saying. She stood up for what God was telling her to do, and she went with it. Yeah.
She persisted forward, and I just couldn't imagine being like into the chamber. I have a movie, maybe there's been a movie, it may be a VeggieTales movie actually of Esther's, but like the big chamber doors where they let her in and she like enters in, like is bowing before. I couldn't imagine walking in to that and saying, I have something that I need to tell you.
Right.
But yet there are times that God calls us all out that we have to step out against the grain and go and do something. Most of the time our life isn't in danger here.
Right.
But her life, like literally she could have been dead right there from just stepping in the chamber without being invited.
Right. Because our fear is spiritual.
Yeah.
The fear that we come against is spiritual.
Yeah.
It's typically lies of the enemy, right?
Yeah.
That we're coming against.
Yes.
Most of us aren't having to make a decision that could put us in danger of death.
Yeah. No.
It's a very real, I'm not diminishing it.
No.
It's a very real fear.
Yes.
That is a tactic of the enemy that's coming against us. But the thing is, and we talked about this last night a little bit of like, what does your yes actually look like for other people where Paul and Silas have been beaten and thrown into prison,
Yeah.
and their yes to you are still worthy, and begin to worship and pray through the night. And that results in an earthquake that breaks every bond that's on the people and opens up prison doors. And so what is your yes going to do? I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same thing that Esther says yes, and it sets her people free. And not only that, they get to defeat their enemy, and they celebrate it annually.
But yet her yes probably had to feel like, how in the world is my yes to saying yes to making dinner for my husband at this point going to set my people free?
Yeah.
Like, I have a feeling her dreams were bigger. I want my people to be free. I want peace on our land. I want this. I want joy in our land. How is making dinner for my husband
Right.
going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
But she did.
Yeah. And that first
And
night, all
that
she did
first
was make dinner.
Yeah. Just made dinner.
And then asked for another dinner.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mhm.
It's crazy. Yes. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like much, but it was everything.
Yeah.
It was
It has
everything
to
for
feel-
Esther and her people.
Yeah.
Wow.
That your small yes can be something so big and can lead to others.
Yeah.
It's that small obedience that when you persist in your gifts or whatever that yes is, and you follow through with that little thing, that God gives you more
Mm-hmm.
and more until you are changing nations.
Right. Wow.
So
Wow.
never
Those are
know.
Big words.
Never
Christy.
know. Never know what is going to come from your little yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's God asking you to do?
Yeah.
What's the thing? What's the thing that's going to lead you into all out bliss?
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments.
Yes.
You might not
We'd
be
love
on
to know.
now while we're live, but even later.
When you're on,
Yeah.
definitely tell us in
When
the
you're watching
comments.
this. We want to know.
Yeah.
So, Christy, what do we have coming up?
We have our February Bliss event coming up. And I am so excited, guys. We have live worship, and they were here last night. We've never had live worship on the stage. This will be the first time. We were here for an hour, probably getting it all set up. And I'm not behind the scenes setting up the sounds, but it seemed like it went really smoothly to me, which I was just really excited that the cords all worked. We didn't have to run out to Walmart to find another cord for anything. It all went really smoothly. And then we have an amazing speaker Cleta, who's been here, been part of Unedited Life, what we're doing, and has such a heart for hearing what God has to say and getting it out to everybody.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt she has spent hours upon hours sitting with Papa God,
Yes.
hearing what he has to say to tell us.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm a kid on Christmas morning waiting to hear what God has to tell us through her on Sunday.
Yep.
And so that's this Sunday. If you can't be here in person, we will be on Facebook Live. So watch for that. That's our big thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else. Oh, we have water bottles. That's what else I was going to say. Is we're selling water bottles.
Yeah.
We're selling some beautiful water bottles. They are $20.
Mhm.
$20. I just bought them. I should know.
Yeah.
$20.
Yes. And it's a fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser. Yeah.
Yes. So you would
So-
get a bottle, and you would be you're helping support
Yeah.
Bliss
Bliss.
as a ministry.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you know it or not, but it actually takes money to run a ministry.
Takes money to
Wild.
make
I
everything
know.
happen.
But that's it's actually in the group. So
Yeah.
we should probably throw that up in the event. We will.
Yeah.
We'll throw that up in the event also, so that
Mhm.
everybody has access to it. But it is customink.com/fundraising/bliss bottles. That'll take you directly to the page. Once
Mhm.
again, customink.com/fundraising/bliss bottles.
Yeah.
You can go out and get yourself a Bliss bottle and help support what we're doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Angie said, it takes money to run our ministry, and we have big dreams for this ministry.
Yeah.
We have big dreams of what we're going to do. We want to see women across the nations filled with bliss
Yeah.
and to make that happen. Support is needed.
Yeah.
To have that happen. So
Yeah. Get you a Bliss bottle.
Yeah.
ladies.
definitely get your friends one.
Yes. And bring a friend.
Yes.
Bring a friend Sunday
bring.
night. Sunday night at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
We will have snacks. Are we going to have snacks?
Yes, we're gonna have some snacks
Okay.
and some drinks.
Yeah.
We have a fun game planned.
Yeah.
Some worship, a wonderful speaker, and just hanging out and being together.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
the plan.
Yep. So come bring a friend.
Come bring a friend. And we have a Facebook event if you want to mark that you're going, but you don't have to.
No.
Nope. You can find a friend on your way here and they are more than welcome. There is no registration. It is free. We just want to see as many women as possible to experience the bliss.
Yeah. And it's warm in here.
It is warm in here.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
So get here.
Yes.
Sunday night. We look forward to hosting you.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
anything else?
I don't think so.
We covered it all.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
Read Esther.
Read Esther.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good book.
You need a place to start. Read Esther.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe we should do an Esther Bible study if we ever get done with our Song of Songs Bible study.
That would be good.
The Song of Songs Bible study where we accomplish 3 verses at a time. It's fine. We should be done in 3 years.
It's getting there.
Just kidding. But an Esther Bible study would be fun.
It would be fun.
There's a lot of content in there. So
Yeah.
anyway, let's sign off.
Yeah. Enjoy your afternoon.
We'll see you soon.
Yes. See you Sunday, hopefully. Bye.
Bye.